Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So with next week, May 13th, it is May 8th as I record this, Blizzard has announced a, quote, turbocharge to the rest of Season 2, where the puzzling cartel chips, or most commonly known as dinar, will be coming into play, along with a number of other things that are set to basically push you through the season. You're going to get another 6 item levels on your crafted pieces for 30 gilded crests. You're going to be able to uncap your crest, warband, your flight stones, or your valor stones, whatever they're called. So it's just a way to really push player power. Plus, with horrific visions coming in, I believe the week after that, there's a helm enchant that you'll be able to get that'll add even more power to your character. So Blizzard is very, very specifically targeting and adding drips of player power that are going to push you through the rest of this season, and are designed basically to help you achieve maybe those last little bit of goals that you've got, whether that's 3k for Keystone Legend or those mythic boss kills, whatever you're looking for. In this video, what I'm going to talk about is what do you want to go chase as a monk with your cartel chips. We're going to talk about all 3 specs in this video. Of course, we'll start with Brewmaster Monk. And for Brewmaster Monk, now with all of the cartel chips, it's going to be based off the assumption that a majority of players are probably going to gain access to hero track at their peak. Maybe some folks in 12s and things like that can access some myth track items as well. But I'm going to look at it more from a heroic perspective, but make note of important myth track items. So for Brewmaster Monk, there's actually 2 ways that you can spend it on. Most obviously, these are going to target one ring, the Jaster Diamond, the trinkets out of both Mythic Plus and Raid, and then all the weapons out of Raid. I wish it would do the weapons out of Mythic Plus as well, but we're not there, so is what it is. So for Brewmaster Monk, if you're looking to spend some cartel chips, if you're a Brewmaster main, I would start with the Gigabank Breaker. Now, I already have mine at Hero Track, which is probably the max that I'm going to get on it, so I don't really need to spend my chip here. But if you don't have your strong 6 of 6 hero weapon and you're playing Brewmaster Monk primarily, this is going to be the way to do it. Now, with the cartel chips, you're only going to get 3 of them total. You'll only be able to buy 3 items, so you kind of have to, if you're a multi-spec player, you're going to have to be very mindful about which ones you choose. But I'm going to look at these in the vacuum of the spec themselves. So yeah, Gigabank Breaker, best Brewmaster weapon here. The other thing that you can go grab as well is a couple of one-handers, which you can grab out of the raid. So the first one's going to come off Chrome King Galliwix, which is the Iron Thumb. Now, the stats on it obviously are not the... no, excuse me. It's going to start with Muggsy. You're going to grab the Iron Knuckles. So, no secondary stats on these, but a very strong cantrip equip effect. So you can spend a chip here and then grab the Iron Thumb to give you a dual wield setup. If you're only going to be like heroic level at max, then this setup is also good for you if you prefer a dual wield setup. At this item level, the 665 or so item level, it's going to be a situation where you can do either two-handed or dual wield. It's kind of what you prefer. From an economy perspective, though, of chip economy, I would probably just go grab the Bank Breaker because it's 1 chip versus 2 that you'd be spending. Beyond that, what can we look at for the purposes of this? Jaster Diamond is still very good. I know it's not the greatest stats. Haste Mastery are not rings that Brewmaster typically likes to roll with, but because of the equip effect on it, it is a very powerful cantrip effect on it. You know, taking secondary stat from your friends and then accumulating that over to your allies. So it's a good way to like trade out stats with people and stuff like that. So you can gain someone's crit and gain someone's mastery, gain someone's versatility, whatever the case may be. And the good thing is that this ring is universally good for all 3 specs. So if you play multi-role like I do, then you can grab the Jaster Diamond and you're going to be okay. For Brewmaster, there's a couple of trinkets you can grab out of the raid side. We have the Combustible Bomb Suit. Again, not the greatest secondary stat with haste, but its use is very, very good, and on a 90-second cooldown, it lines up pretty well with most of your other like defensives and stuff like that if you need to, but it also is good to use in terms of like on pull or in a sticky situation, or if your healer dies, you pop this, you get a big shield that, you know, it's reduces damage taken by 20 seconds, or it's 8.9 million health has been prevented. I mean, that's my entire health, health pool as Windwalker. As Brewmaster, I think I'm around 10 million now. So it's a nearly full health bar worth of damage absorb. Yeah, 13 million. So it's, about 75% of a health bar for Brewmaster. So this is a very good one that you can go chase. The other trinket is, I believe, is the spare keys. This is the only tank that really likes this trinket. It's good to get snap aggro. It's good in single target. It's just a good, like, pure damage trinket that's very, very solid. Coming out of the dungeon sets, the only one I would really go chase if you really need it, well, technically two. At a Theater of Pain, you can grab the Grim Codex, which just has a strong AoE damage component to it. So I would definitely look into that if you prefer to go that route. And then, of course, you can grab out of Priory, not that trinket, but the Tome of Light's Devotion, which basically gives you magic absorb and then gives you extra armor, which Brewmaster benefits the most from anything that gives you extra armor. I would say this trinket's probably your best trinket, and I would say go after that one first. And then depending in terms of defensive trinket, and then just grab one of either, I would say, Grim Codex or the spare keys, because those are just the strongest ones right now. So summarize here, grab Bankbreaker if you need the heroic track weapon. Now again, remember you can craft 681, so weapons are going to be much less valuable in terms of spending your cartel coins on, unless it's just a very powerful weapon or you gain access to the Mythtrack version. After that, I would say grab Jaster Diamond and then grab 2 trinkets for your 3 purchases. Grab either like Light's Devotion and the spare keys, or grab Grim Codex and spare keys if you want a more damage oriented setup. It just allows you to have a ton of flexibility. All right, for Mistweaver Monk, again, you can grab something like the again, with weapon, I would say just craft and go as high as you can with it. And then after that, I would grab, if you can grab the Jaster Diamond, grab the Jaster item. Because again, I think it's a pretty solid ring overall, and it's just good for all 3 specs. But the main one that I would say, if you're not going to get a weapon and you're not grabbing Jaster Diamond first, go absolutely get off of Sprocketmonger the Mr. Pick Me Up. This is by far the best healer trinket in this patch. It's a crazy amount of potential damage with overhealing or just passive healing that jumps to a bunch of different allies. It's really, really powerful in that regard. So I definitely would grab that. You can grab something like the Eye of Kezin if you want to do that. I wouldn't strongly recommend that one. It's like a good trinket, but it's not the best. But if you're looking for something that gives you a little bit of crit, you can also go grab Moxie Jug. So for, again, Mistweaver in a vacuum, I would do weapon if you can get a Mythtrack version of it and you don't already have one. If you don't have access to Mythtrack weapons, then I would say grab Mr. Pick Me Up, Mug's Moxie Jug, and then probably just grab Jaster Diamond. It's a safe pick. Alright, for Windwalker, weapons are actually not going to be a high priority for Windwalker, because technically speaking, the best weapon comes out of Priory of the Sacred Flame. And if you can get that at Mythtrack or craft a Mythtrack weapon, you're going to be in your best shape. So it is the Glorious Defender's Poleaxe. It's perfect stats for Windwalker. So this is one you want to ultimately try to farm or get real high on out of your vault or craft one. So for Windwalker Monks as a result, we are looking strictly at probably a ring, a trinket, and probably a second trinket. And there's a couple of ones that you can grab. First and foremost, you're going to want to grab House of Cards. This is a perfect trinket for Windwalker Monk right now. It has a 90-second cooldown, which if you're playing the Conduit of Celestials build, lines up perfectly with your Zhuen, so you can macro those two together and get a ton of value out of it, and they'll be on cooldown basically at the exact same time. Obviously, it provides Mastery, which is one of our strongest stats, so very good, and then it has just a strong amount of agility on it. As you can see, I've got mine at 665. It's doing almost 40. It's doing 4,600 agility, gives me between 8 and 9, almost 10,000 Mastery, and then, you know, when you use it, you go from there and you just get even more mastery out of it. So very, very strong trinket on a 90-second cooldown. Very, very good. Jaster Diamond, also perfectly good. Perfect stats again, haste mastery, and again has the strong equip effect. So these would be probably your first two purchases. And then for your third purchase, you have a couple of choices. I would probably, if you haven't farmed it or rolled it out of your vault at Mythtrack, grab Signet of the Priory. Now, I know it's double on use. This one has a 2-minute cooldown, so it doesn't really line up great with your cooldowns. But what you can do is you can use one stack of clones, Zhuen with House of Cards, and then your second stack of clones you can use with Signet of the Priory. So there is some really strong value to having that double on use if you can min-max it a little bit. And go from there. Or if you get the Funhouse lens out of the Delve, yes, you heard me right, go chase that, but it has a ceiling on it because of its item level. Signet of the Priory I would go grab if you don't get it, again, at Mythic Track. If you have a bunch of stuff already at Myth Track, buy whatever transmog you want. That's basically how I would treat it. So, anyways, guys, that's what I would buy with your Puzzling Cartel coins as a Monk player. Now, again, we looked at the specs individually. If you're a multi-spec player, probably grab Jaster Diamond, the most useful trinkets that are going to be, and then like your most useful trinkets for the roles that you play most. So if you're like a Brewmaster Windwalker player, grab House of Cards, grab, I'd say probably Tome of Light's Devotion if you're pushing high content. If you're like an AOTC raider or something like that, grab the Spare Keys. If you are only a one trick of each of these specs, then go look through this list. So until the next video, I hope you all stay safe. Hope you enjoy yourself. You're having fun. You keep on gaming, and we'll see you next time.